So there are some situational judgments which can sometimes arise in MMIs. So this is where you're given a scenario and a few statements which relate to the situation, and then you're asked to rank these responses in order of appropriateness. So so for example, an example situational judgment question could be that you and your friend have arranged to go somewhere for the weekend, but last minute your friend has another arrangement and they want to sort of go on that instead of coming with you. So again, there might be a list of scenarios sort of, and you'd have to rank them in sort of being appropriate, very appropriate to very inappropriate. So this might be something like going all in and completely confronting your friend with no discussion and, you know, not thinking of their side of the argument. And again, you'd have to think, how would I rank that for this situation? So personally, I'd probably go with maybe very inappropriate, because that person's meant to be your friend. You're not giving them a chance to sort of discuss their reasoning for doing the other activity that they might have planned instead of going with you. And again, maybe something very appropriate would be maybe sitting down and having a reasonable discussion, sort of looking at both sides of the argument. Maybe that again, there's an underlying reason why the friend has to go somewhere else. Maybe, you know, maybe they're almost covering something up, like a family member's passed away and they're having to go, but yet they don't want to make you feel bad about the situation. So again, it's just every answer that you give, it's important to discuss why you've given that answer, and rather than just saying, I've ranked this, this, and this, and this, and this. Because instead of just listing things, you need to explain yourself and give reasoning for everything that you say. So, for example, you know, I want to sit down with a friend because, again, she's my friend. I want to have a chat with her. I want to see her reasoning, because, again, there might be an underlying issue, and I don't want to jeopardise our friendship in the future over something like this, and I really want to understand and allow her to open up to me. And so this just allows you to display your critical thinking skills and reasoning behind a situation, and it shows that you're able to communicate by justifying the answers that you've given. And ethical decision making, so again, it's remembering the 4 pillars, because sometimes these scenarios might be slightly ethical, so it's nice to have those in the back of your mind to pull forward and to be able to bring it through whenever you need to. So an example of another station might be an ethical scenario. So this, what we'll discuss later, is the 4 pillars of ethics, and these are often, again, really useful to have in the back of your mind when discussing ethical scenarios, because it sort of refers to the right and wrong way to behave in theory and within practice. Because within medicine there's obviously a lot of ethical issues. For example, should smokers be treated on the NHS? You know, about NHS privatisation. There are so many examples, and then again with sort of different ethics for children, and how to approach that, and confidentiality, and there's a wide spectrum of different scenarios that we'll discuss a bit more later. So ethics is seen as the formal study of morality, a reasoned way of exploring and evaluating the results of moral judgments. So in an ethical scenario, it's just important to keep an open mind when looking at a question, and rather than diving straight in and giving a definite answer, it's nice to sort of debate both sides and give your reasoning for both sides before sort of coming to a final decision, because again, that just shows that you can reason, you can see both sides of an argument and then make a decision based on that. There's no real right or wrong answer, it's just more about how you can debate your answer that you're trying to give, and that you can understand the principles behind both discussions and both sort of arguments of the answer.